Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for December 2nd, 2017. With your host, Peacemaker244 and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hi. I changed the overlay a little bit.
Ooh. I don't have the stream up, so I can't see.
I say a little bit.
By ever so much, I assume.
By ever so very little.
Mm. Uh. Is it the goals and stuff?
No. That's actually been there for a while.
Shit, then I don't know. What am I missing?
Look at the position of our Xbox avatars. And then look to the left over there where you see the little Discord information.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, you have the actual Discord stuff in there.
Yep.
Like everyone else does. Cool.
Yep. That way, way, if we have someone else, then it can be visible there too. And I don't have to try to scramble.
I didn't even think about that.
I should have thought about that.
It's probably because I've seen it on so many other never thinks to bring it up for us to do.
It's one of those two that I kind of I look at stuff like that and then sometimes I'm like, do I think it'll actually look decent? And sometimes it will and sometimes it won't.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those chances are on my own stream stuff, I probably am not going to add something like this because typically I'm the only one on there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Except for like the one time I co-commed.
Well, I mean, technically Rampant Gaming.
Yeah.
Since I've been streaming on both.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, there's not really that many times there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and Pokemon right now.
Mm-hmm. I am surprised at how well we were doing on Pokemon. We have not been stonewalled that hard. I figured we would have a hard stop somewhere, but no, we haven't.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I had a little bit of a speed bump trying to get a Charmander early on, but that's really kind of been the only obstacle there.
Yeah, because I was thinking more like we get stuck on a gym leader, but like no, we have not.
And quite frankly, I probably, looking at it now, I probably could have just skipped focusing on getting a Charmander early on and had been fine.
Yeah.
Now, I say that, and the next gym might be the one that decides to have the rock-type Pokemon.
To be fair, I can look this shit up.
To be fair, I'd rather us not do that, though.
Yeah. Yeah, for those that don't know, I essentially had the randomizer for the Leaf Green that we're doing on Mondays output a file that essentially tells me everything. It tells me every single Pokemon that every single trainer has. It tells me every single Pokemon that's in every single area. And it tells me all the trades, and it tells me essentially what all it changed. So usually at the end of the stream, we'll go back and look through the routes we just went through and see what all we didn't see.
Especially because until we get to a gym, we can only catch one Pokemon from each route. Mm-hmm. So more than likely, most of those routes we've either one already seen just about everything in, or two, we've already caught the one Pokemon that we can only get from that route.
Yeah.
So it's not really a case of we're doing that to kind of be able to cheat and go back the next time. It's one of those we've kind of already seen it and chances are the ones that we haven't are the super rare drops.
Yeah, I think like the most of the ones we didn't see are the rare ones. Granted, I can't see the drop rates on them. I think it's the same drop rate for everything. I think.
I'd say if we pulled up a standard drop rate and kind of
Mhm.
matched it 1-to-1, we would actually kind of see the rates then. Because I
Yeah.
don't think they've actually changed the rates.
I know they changed it to where more Pokemon can be in a route because there's not supposed to be like 8 Pokemon in Route 1, but there's like 8 Pokemon in Route 1 for us.
Yeah, I think there's only, what, 4?
Yes.
I can't think of them all right offhand, but I know Pidgey and Rattata are the two
I
common
think it's
drops.
Pidgey. I think it's Pidgey, Rattata, Spearow, and something else. It's like horribly spelled Bulbapedia to try to look this up. Nope, only Pidgey and Rattata.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, Gen 1. Gen 2 had a Sinrit, Furret, and Hoothoot and Eradicate. But yeah, for what we would be dealing with, yeah, it's yeah, Fire Red, Leaf Green, it's only Pidgey and Rattata. Nothing else should be there. And we have, I think, like 8 Pokemon in there that we can catch in Route 1.
Then it does modify the catch rates too, then.
It is, well, not the catch rate, the encounter rate.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, the catch rate's the exact, is for each Pokemon, it's the exact same catch rate as it normally would be for that Pokemon, which is why, the second, third evolution stuff is super hard to catch.
And why Bulbasaur would not get in the ball.
Yep. Because
Still a
its
little
catch rate's
aggravated
high.
at that.
Mhm. Yeah, Route 1 for us has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Pokemon. And I think its encounter rate's supposed to be 21. I think that's what the 21 rate equals 21 in the file supposed to be.
Hmm.
At least that's my assumption off what the document's supposed to say. But yeah,
I need to pull that up and take a peek on my side, it looks like then. As I click the wrong button. Buttons are hard.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, also it wouldn't help if we look through the Mount Moon stuff to go back because we can't go back to Mount Moon. Not
Yeah,
for a
really
while.
at this point, anything pre-Mount Moon, we're kind of just stuck.
Yeah. Because I think the only route we can go back to is the one outside Cerulean City. Although I did check the route above Cerulean City. Cerulean City. So we can only, we know what's in both of those routes, but we don't know anything else, but we can't get back to those areas for a while until we come back from Cinnabar, I think, is when we can get access to that stuff. Or re-get access to that stuff. If I remember right. I might be wrong on that. I don't remember the exact route for Fire Red, Leaf Green, because oh boy, do you have that big ass detour into the Sevi Islands somewhere in the game that I don't remember where, and that's required. Because you detour into the Sevi Isles for back and then do the rest of Kanto. And I don't remember the middle part of Kanto because it just kind of goes all over the place. Because it's not just a straight line that you follow. No, you kind of curl back inwards and hop routes in order to get to other areas. I think that's the one problem I have with the original games is because it's kind of confusing the route you go. Because a lot of other Pokemon games don't have a lot of big twists and turns in terms of its routing. It's fairly straightforward where you go. And I might be misremembering something and saying something completely stupid, which is entirely possible. But Doug, what else have you been playing since we were talking about this anyway?
See. I'm think. Because I know one, but I thought there was another two that I had. Maybe not then. Maybe that's the only other thing that I've picked up. Might be one of those I've thought about picking something else up then. I actually got Brutal Legend for free here a little while back. Actually a pretty decent game there.
Yeah. When you sent me the thing for that, I'm like, God, I know too much about games. Because I know what Brutal Legend is wholeheartedly. And I'm like, God, the insanity of Brutal Legend is wasted on me for a stream.
It's one of those that I kind of knew some about it, but then when I got to playing it, it's like, this actually is good. I don't understand why it kind of just, trailed out into nothingness for a little while there.
Did you get to the RTS stuff yet?
I don't believe I have.
Oh, okay. That's probably why.
Okay.
I believe it's the RTS stuff that threw people off the game hard. And also what the fuck that game is, because it's like, it's one big love letter to like old rock and roll music.
It's one of
or
those.
Motorhead as a character in the game.
It's one of those though that I'm like, I'm kind of fine with that because it does fully embrace the whole just off the wall mentality with it. And it's like, that's something you don't see too often is when a game knows that it is kind of got a really weird concept behind it, and it's just like, you know what? We don't care.
Yeah. You also have legit Jack Black, not whoever the fuck they hired to be the main Panda guy. She swears Jack Black, but is not because he sounds just fucking like him.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, for anyone who's seen anything from the Kung Fu Panda TV series, remember, what you're hearing is not Jack Black. That is somebody else. I don't know who the fuck they found that sounds just like Jack Black. But yeah. But no, this is legitimately Jack Black in this game. And it's also a Double Fine game. So this is coming from Tim Schafer and the folks who did Psychonauts. Which is why Brutal Legend had some hype going into it.
I can see that actually.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, it didn't quite click, but I have played a little bit of Psychonauts too, and it's like, yeah, I completely see that.
Yeah, because I think this was the next game from Double Fine after Psychonauts. So a lot of people were riding on the high of Psychonauts and going, ooh, the next thing from Double Fine. And it's Brutal Legend. At least I believe I'm right on that. In their timeline. No. Technically not.
Inverse.
4 games before Brutal Legend, but I think those 4 games
Oh.
weren't major. Do what?
No, I thought it was inverse there for a second there.
Yeah. But yeah, there was Epic Saga, My Game About Me, Tasha's Game, and Hostmaster and the Conquest of Humor. But it doesn't look like any... Oh, those were all browser games. Okay, that's why I never heard of them. Never mind. This was legitimately their next major console game. The rest of the stuff was just browser stuff. But Anything else?
Honestly, it should have been more, but no.
Should be more for me, but just because I had Thanksgiving break, that doesn't mean I sat down to actually play some more .hack GU like I wanted to. I even took my PlayStation 4 with me back home, and I didn't even bother to hook it up. I just sat all the wires and stuff on my TV stand and just didn't hook it back up.
Oh wow.
I got busy knocking out a project and didn't bother. But you know what I did do?
What?
I decided to try to breed a shiny Charmander to get me a shiny Charizard.
And after how many boxes full of Charmanders?
Note, I have still not gotten one, and I have filled a box and a half. And bear in mind, I'm using Masuda method. Which is 6 in 4,096. Which, for a single encounter, is your best odds. For multiple encounters, like chaining, which Sun and Moon is the best example for it of that gen. That's 4 in 4,096. But you get to multiply that in Sun and Moon because you're getting multiple Pokemon coming in at the same time. And each one of those has a 4 in 4,096 chance. So, because you are getting multiple things at the same time, your encounter rates at your chances are actually better with chaining. But you have a limited pull on that chaining since you're using SOS battles for that. And I don't think... And fishing also limits the number of Pokemon you can do with it. But I don't think Pokeradar's in... Yeah, it's not. It's only in the... It's in X and Y, but it's not in Sun and Moon at all. Yeah, breeding is your best way to get other Pokemon in the Masuda method, which essentially is breeding compatible Pokemon, each from a different region. Region Charmander and a German region Charmander, and you have them breed. And you just keep breeding babies until you get somewhere. Which for me is a US Ditto and a German Charmander. So I've just been breeding, just grabbing eggs, running around in the circle until they hatch, and just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And so far, I've not gotten one. What's bad is I want to do this process all over again for a fucking Greninja.
You're crazy.
I know. But I want my black Charizard and my black... Because what else am I going to do in Sun and Moon now that I've completed the Alolan Pokedex and are some odd Pokemon breeding and evolving to their second stage away from completing the national dex outside of the one giveaway Pokemon that, Pokemon Company needs to fucking give me so I can be done with that. And, the 3 Pokemon I need to get in, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon at some point. Well, 4, because there's also the giveaway there. In terms of the stuff I do, I'm kind of out of things to do. Unless I want to go grind on the battle tree to get Mega Stones, and fuck that nonsense. Fuck that. I don't want to deal with that. That is a supremely more grindy process than actually getting shiny. And I would rather get shinies. Because, I can breed essentially whatever the fuck I want right now. Literally breed whatever I want. So if I want a shiny, I can damn well get it. All I have to do is just put in the time to breed it. But the only other thing really is RE4, and I have a story for that from the last stream for those of you that didn't catch it. Okay, do you know in RE4 when you get the thermal scope for the sniper rifle? Yes, no? Tommy? Hello? Oh, okay. Anyway, Tommy will be right back. Okay, the thermal scope on the sniper rifle, you need that to kill the regenerators because you have to kill the specific plagas that are in their body, and you have to actually aim and shoot them. Well, I knew there was a problem with my ROM, potentially, that the thermal scope would not work properly. Well, it turns out that, yes, it doesn't work properly because it just fills your screen with one color. Pink. I think it's technically a purple, but yeah. So, in the required fight that I have to fight, I believe an Iron Maiden is what it's actually called, but it's I have to shoot blind and kill it. Somehow I fucking did. I legitimately shot the Plagas I couldn't fucking see and actually killed it. And that was like the only regenerator I killed through that method. Otherwise, I think I killed it with those thermal grenades. Oh my god. I don't want to play RE4, the ROM of RE4 ever again after that because that was a nightmare. Trying to do that blind and hope I'm shooting where I assume the Plagas is, because I think most of the time the Plagas is in the bodies. It's not in any of the limbs. So I'm trying to shoot at the body with like no reference at all to where I'm shooting outside of an audio cue that I actually hit the body and not just shot the wall. And also the aiming is a little sensitive, so if I just tap left, I might be not aiming at his body anymore. I never want to deal with that again. I think I'm past the point because I'm past Krauser now in RE4. I'm past the point where I need to worry about regenerators. Hopefully, thank God. Because I never want to have to fight another regenerator in this game again. If I do, I'm absolutely fucked. I honestly thought I was going to have to not play RE4 because I could limitation. Why is Discord drop every now and again? I swear the school's Wi-Fi is garbage sometimes. But yeah, that's everything I play. I'm trying to remember the random stream I did. I don't remember which one it was. Which was it? Oh, Namco versus Capcom, where I just fucking gave up on that. Actually, oh no, not that other one. No, that was before the last stream. Yeah, Namco versus Capcom. I have not back to that. I was supposed to do Yoshi's Island Thursday, but I got caught up trying to model a level sensor for senior design and doing a paper that it bleh. School's fun. Like I said, I just want to be with these next couple weeks, so I have like time to like do other stuff that does not involve this stuff with school right now, because it's been quite stressful. And now I'm stalling because Tommy's not back yet. But well, since I'm listening to it, I'm gonna rewatch Sin Cancer because I'll talk TV shit stuff now. Because fuck it. I'm honestly surprised by how much Power Ranger Samurai has just translated the scripts for Shinkenger, like in shot for shot remade stuff for like no fucking reason, just to remake it because they're following that guy. What the fuck? Like, you could have at least tried to do your own spin on Shinkenger for Samurai, but nope. Nope, you just keep it as is. And like change a couple things, I think, but otherwise kept it the exact fucking same. Which is insane sounding because it's like Shinkenger is fairly drenched in like Japanese culture and like the dynamics of the life of a Japanese person. So like taking that out of the context of Japan into an American setting and not carrying over that culture and stuff loses a lot of what Shinkenger's about. And hell, they even like make it way too much like obvious put out there about the twist in Shinkenger, because Shinkenger has a fairly interesting twist about its Red Ranger by the end of the series. And there's a slow build to it, and it happens towards the end of the series, mind you. So it's a fairly late game twist. And I kind of don't want to spoil it because it's really good. Because they don't really like put it at the forefront at all in Shinkenger. Because to give an example, in one of the early episodes, there's a monster that attacks people by saying something related to something they hide deep within themselves. So for Blue, he has a father's complex. For Pink, it's she's terrible at cooking. For Red, he just says he's a liar. It's very nondescript, and if you're just watching the show for the first time, it seems like it's just that he lies about how he feels about the team or how he feels about other people because he doesn't express himself too much. So he's lying about his true feelings. You don't think anything about it. But Samurai then goes, fucking does that exact same episode, except for Red, they hammer it home way too hard. It's like, what the fuck? You're not supposed to make it obvious. Like, ugh.
Also, I'm back, by the way.
Okay, good.
Give me just a second as I'm actually fixing to do something with Discord because it's really trying to drive me crazy by just randomly losing a little bit of packets. So
Okay.
I'll probably wind up dropping, but I'll be right back.
Okay. It dropped me doing beep the entire time.
Okay. Hopefully this will quit. I turned off hardware acceleration trying to see, because for some stupid reason, it really does not want to cooperate. Like it'll let everything go for a little bit and then it'll just randomly decide it wants to drop a little bit, and it's like, why? And streamer mode quit turning on. I've turned you off twice now. Yeah, what did happen with that? I did kind of miss that. What? Hmm. And which emulator are you running this on? Hmm. I mean, to be fair, I've actually seen worse problems with that, and by that I mean Project 64 has certain games that I am not joking. The textures are a pixel. Because what happens is instead of having it laid out in a 2D plane like you're used to seeing it, yep, turn that axis. You now have the platform functioning like it should, but you see like 1 pixel of the platform. Yeah. You might want to try to look into it and see if there is anything else that you got to use that for. Hmm. They've got QTEs in a Call of Duty. Yeah, because that definitely works. It makes you feel immersed in it. Yep. Uh, I think I read a overview about it. I haven't actually seen the trailer, and from what I even saw of that, it's like, hmm. Yep. What's bad is, like I said, I haven't even seen it. I've just read a like kind of a overview of it, and it's like, yeah, yeah. That doesn't surprise me because didn't Ragnarok just come out like not too long ago? I I almost wonder if it's because of the fact too that, both movies would have had to have been filming with overlap. So it could be too they had some of this that they're like, okay, we'll modify it slightly. That way it can match a different ending if we want to go that direction, and kind of left a little bit of wiggle room. I would think it would about have to, because for them to have come out, well, for them to be coming out so close together, they about had to be. Even if it wasn't much, it still would have had to have been some, and chances are they would have been filming Infinity War at least during the time that Ragnarok was getting finished up. Hmm. I think that ship's kind of sailed for DC. Well, I think from the way that Justice League underperformed, according to them, even, uh, that's kind of got a lot of people thinking that most of the DC cinematic stuff is kind of up in the air. Like everything that's being worked on right now is kind of definite it's going to finish up, but outside of that, yeah. What's bad though is at this point, I feel like they've about kind of done screwed themselves over though. Because everyone's been burnt so many times by it that at this point, even if they did say, okay, we're going to try to start over from square one, a lot of people are going to be like, okay, so you're just going to screw it up again? And I kind of can't say that I would blame that mindset either. I'm going to say this. It is something that could happen. I'm not saying that that can't happen because literally every genre of every kind of media source has ever had something like that. The thing is, a lot of the reason I feel like that's being the toss out right there is because, to be fair, look at a lot of the second films for Marvel. A lot of them are story driven. They're not really the action pack that we see the first of the series kind of coming in as. They are kind of slower because they're trying to tell more of a story. That's kind of why those aren't resonating as big with people, because for some stupid reason everyone thinks, okay, superhero movie, it has to have explosions and action and this and that and the other. It's like, yes and no. It should have that, but at the same time, if they're not telling a story, what's the difference between that and just filming someone doing a lot of explosions? I mean, let's be honest. Okay, but I am going to say this though. In terms of Guardians 2, I've actually seen both of them. So I can fairly say this. I feel like the first one kind of trumps the second one there because it does have a lot more of the openness. But like I said, though, that's one of those that I see it clearly with that one, just like you can see it clearly with Iron Man 2 and just about all the other ones. The second movie that Marvel puts out for each of these is so story driven that that's kind of why it takes a completely different tone. And I almost feel like it's that tone that people aren't understanding. So when something's not understood, well, that must be flooding of the market. Like, no, that's what you call storytelling. Big difference there. Well, and okay, that's something else that DC's not grasped. Look all the way back at the first Iron Man movie, even before Marvel got picked up by Disney and all of this started steamrolling. Marvel had the plan that they were at least going to build into the first Avengers movie. Whether or not they succeeded and got to that point, they had that plan mapped out. It wasn't a case of they started throwing some movies out and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do a team up. And that's where DC's messing up. Yeah. Yep. I can't either. But but I mean that's the prime example there. And I I was actually kind of curious because I couldn't remember if Iron Man came out before Disney picked up Marvel or after, and it was before. So that means that even before Marvel knew whether or not they could pull off all of this, they still had that, okay, if this is successful, here's our game plan. Not, okay, we're going to do this movie. Oh, look, it turned out successful. Let's go ahead and keep going. That was one of those, no, they didn't care if it was successful or not. They had a plan. Where DC, it feels like they threw an idea at the wall. Oh, well, that sold. Let's throw another idea at the wall. Oh, well, that one worked too. Oh, look, Marvel's doing a team up movie. We can do that too. It's like, wrong, wrong, wrong. hmm I mean, that's what gets me there. It's like DC kind of just jumped into it, whereas Marvel's like, no, we've got this planned out. If it fails, then yeah, we've got a scrap project here, but if it succeeds, we've got plans. That would almost be like having a game developer that completely knew they could make a sequel, but doesn't want to test the waters too hard. So they kind of trickle a little bit of, okay, we could have a sequel here. And that's exactly what they kind of did there. Kind of makes you wonder what their inspiration was behind setting all that up. Who makes sense. Yep. I could see that. Didn't it also kind of come off of the whole Avengers high too, though? So I mean, it could be possible that it still was kind of in that whole mindset of, look, they did a good team up movie, so a movie about a group might work too, kind of deal. So I'm kind of wondering if there might have been a little of biasness kind of deal. Yeah. I think the only reason that didn't wind up getting the Avengers mantle there is because, and I noticed this too, I have actually seen that one, but have yet to see Age of Ultron, and I still could keep up with it, kind of deal. So it's one of those that I feel like it stands alone enough to where you could kind of be like, okay, well, even if you haven't completely caught up with everything, you could still follow this and be fine. Like, that's what's so good too. You do have that. There's not too many, really, any kind of media that you can just say you can hop in no matter where you're at and be able to follow it. And it's not one of those either where it's like, oh, well, they must go ahead and explain everything to you beforehand. No, they don't. But it's meshed together so good that you could still kind of follow and figure out what happened there. It's definitely feeling to me like the big ones that you kind of need to be focused with for this one is going to be the Avengers movies leading up to this. The Guardians movies, at least the second one, because it does pretty good at filling you in on what happened in the first one. And then I haven't seen Homecoming, but it's either going to be that or Civil War. Going to probably be the last major one that you'd probably need. Because that should give enough background there to where you could kind of follow it from everything I'm seeing. As good as they mesh it together, though, I could kind of feel like that could be meshed in pretty good without having too much of an issue. Like, I feel the ones that I mentioned are probably going to be the major ones, and then from that point, you can kind of piece together the rest of it. At least enough to where you can make sense of it. Yeah. Hmm. I guess so. I said I guess so. Is really? Oh. So is it dropping on your side then? Oh, so then that tells me that it wasn't my side of Discord. Hmm. Well, then let me try something to see if I can't get it to help us a little bit there. 'Cause I actually thought it was my side there. Gonna lower the bitrate for the channel. And maybe that'll help. Hopefully. Or it'll kill you, one of the two. Well, that's not good. Um, if you're saying anything, it is completely silent on my side. Hmm. What happened there? Well then, I lowered the bit rate on the channel, so that might help some. Pre-order? No. Would I buy this cereal? Possibly. Do we actually have what it does and not just guessing what it does? Hmm. I actually heard something about it's not supposed to be released until the 11th. I say not supposed to be, even though some people have gotten it already. Um, honestly speaking, I'm more wanting it because then I can say that I have a giant amiibo. Because I don't even have Odyssey right yet. So. Hmm. Well then. Hmm. You're gonna have to make a special riser for the cereal box amiibo. uh, let's see. I can't remember what the mixed berry cereal with marshmallows. Trying to think of what else I've seen that has like a mixed berry kind of cereal. But it looks like it'd be along the lines of Lucky Charms or something like that. So it might be pretty good. Hmm. Okay. Well then. Hmm. Hmm. Well then. Wait, you mean there might be something coming to the Switch? Hmm. Keep in mind it doesn't really matter on that. Switch is region free. So, uh, possible. I don't know. Depends on if I get caught up on other stuff that I need to get first. Yeah. Of course there will. Hmm. Oh wow. Granted, I mean, we really have never really cared, so. Probably not. Yeah, and that whole uh, problem, I guess, is the best word to say for it. Hmm. I'm just curious, can we have a Destiny game that actually starts good? Because, like, that's been the recurring theme here with them, unfortunately. Oh, wow. But it is a shooter. It has to do shooter things, right? To be fair, Destiny's had the shooter things right all the way from the start. I mean, that's arguable, I know, but yeah. Because I didn't feel like it was a bad thing, Destiny felt like Halo. That honestly is probably the one of the best things we could have had out of that. It just didn't feel like an MMO, which was the problem. And then when they started doing the expansions that were helping it, that did actually help it. So it's one of those that I wish they would actually just figure out what they got to do to get everything going right. Hmm. Yeah, you're right on that. Yep. I guess so. I've, yeah, we kind of didn't have much to talk about. True. Yay. Of course, technically we really only have one because there's not going to be much going on that last little bit there. Yeah. But, yeah. That'll be interesting. True. Uh, that means Bethesda's picked it up too. Hmm. Either that or really dumb releases have PCs. One of the two. Probably. 11th. That's a Thursday, huh? I'd say that is all eShop though. Odd, because I thought they usually do that on Tuesdays.
I think I'm probably wrong on that one. Anyway, on the 8th, we've got Battlestar Galactica Deadlocked for Xbox One, Demon's Age for Xbox One, Hello Neighbor officially coming to Xbox One, Paladin is coming for Xbox One, and Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus for PlayStation 4 and PC. On the 9th, we have Loco Roco 2 Remaster for PlayStation 4. And on the 11th, we have Battlefield 1 Turning Tides DLC for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. That's the DLC we heard about all the way back at E3, for those that remember. On the 12th, we have Okami HD for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. And I highly suggest you all pick that up. It's a really beautiful game, and it's a platinum game. Go buy it. It's really good, and it's going to look a lot better, which is amazing because it's like that game already looked good even still today, I think, on PS2 and GameCube, I believe. I believe it came out on GameCube. It's on GameCube and Wii because the Wii one has motion control stuff. Actually, it might have only came out on Wii. It might not have came out on GameCube. But anyway, PlayerUnknown's Battleground is going to get its first console release on Xbox One. Resident Evil 7 Bio has what? Where'd the Z go? By there's supposed to be a Z there. Spell check. That's supposed to be Biohazard. Not Biohard, Biohazard Gold Edition, featuring the End of Zoe and Not a Hero DLC, which that's the Chris Redfield DLC. That hopefully will explain why the fuck Chris Redfield's working for Umbrella. Assumingly. Finally. Like half a year after RE7's release for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Fallen Legion, Flames of Rebellion for PlayStation 4, Game Beast for PlayStation 4 and PC. That actually looks like a fun game. I've seen the Derp Crew play it on the YouTubes. It's essentially like an arena brawler with one of those really odd control schemes. like one of those like every button's assigned to a limb kind of control schemes, I think, assumingly.
Well,
But it's an arena fighter, so everyone's on the same playing field in terms of back controls. It looks fun. We also got Party Planet for the Switch, Pinball FX3 for the Switch, The End is Nigh for Switch, and Fallout 4 VR for PC. Yay. On the 13th, we have Final Fantasy 15 Episode Ignis for PlayStation 4, so we can find out, spoilers, why Ignis is blind at the end of the game. Just gonna throw that one out there. Y'all can hate me for spoiling something about Final Fantasy 15 later. On the 14th, we have Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, The Adventures of Gunslinger Joe DLC for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Bleed for Switch, and Yooka-Laylee on the Switch. Yay, Yooka-Laylee, finally on the Switch. Long after it's gonna be shown up by both Odyssey and Hat in Time, essentially.
At least Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. And finally, on the 15th, we have Circuits for Xbox One, Lost Grimoires 2, Shard of Mystery for Xbox One, and LA Noire, The VR Case Files for PC. I still have no idea what that is besides possibly just VR LA Noire. Is it just VR LA Noire?
It's gonna be just VR LA Noire.
Oh, it only has 7 cases specifically rebuilt for virtual reality.
Oh.
So it's probably like half the game.
Oh, then.
That's kind of a shame, but okay, that's still kind of cool. Well, that brings us to quick draws, and I'm just gonna splooge about the Top She Nations 2017 event that happened, and talk about some of the Figure Arts writer stuff we got, because some of it, even though some of it we're probably never going to get, because some of this is display only. But I'm just going to go through some of the stuff that's in the forums because that's easier than linking like 5 million front page articles. Because you could probably also go to the front page and skim through like the last two pages of it and also get the same stuff. But this is a little easier. But we got new SIC stuff. I want to say it's SIC Lord Baron and SIC Hellryugen and Baron Lemon Energy, actually. Which I'm surprised to see so much SIC Gaim. I thought we would have gotten some SIC Ghost or SIC X8 at this point. We've got a Proplica Unk arm from O's.
Huh.
And they're also doing a complete selection driver in O's metal set in the future, which is going to be a new version of the O's driver that's better. It's going to have a lot of new sound effects and probably music from the show. And the O's metal set is going to have every single O's metal that was ever released. So it's going to have the Megamax medals, so Poseidon and the Super Combo, the Super Tatobak medals, the Panda ones, or the Kangaroo ones. I think the Panda one from Gamba Rising, most likely. And we'll have probably the ability to do the Ankh Tajador sound from the last episode. Just to name off a whole bunch of things it's probably going to do, even though we have zero information on it. What are you going to say?
Nothing.
Okay. We got the renewals Luna Trigger and Heat Metal, to no one's surprise, considering they're literally just repaints of the renewal Cyclone Joker. Because we've already got confirmation that we're actually getting the release of Fang Joker renewal.
Ah.
It helps that you can literally do every single double form because they all share the same body. It's not like anything has any new parts on it.
It's not like how Build is.
Yeah. or like anyone past double, really. Because like some new colored parts for O's if you wanted to do renewals of him and all of his other forms. And the same with Forze and Wizard and Gaim and Drive and Ghost and X8 and Build. Everyone would require new parts and stuff to do renewal stuff. But like double, nope, it's the same body, just painted new colors with different inserts on the chest and different cuffs. And that's probably like, what, $5 difference? That's just a slightly different molding process.
Yeah.
We also got a new bike for Ichigo Nigo, or a new version of Ichigo Nigo's bike. I think a renewal Nigo, I want to say. Figure arts for Cross, or Claws, however the fuck you want to call his name. I'm going to go Cross, because I think it's Cross, I'm going to went off their pronunciation in the show, and it sounds like Cross to me. Does it sound like Cross to you?
I don't know. That's one of those that's like they need to be clear on it.
Yeah. Also alongside the Machine Builder, they've already confirmed they're releasing both Night Rouge and Bloodstark as figures right now. Which I'm surprised on the Bloodstark one. I figured we wouldn't get Bloodstark. Considering he's probably going to be gone by the end of the year. He's not living past the end of the year.
Yeah, I can't see it happening.
We also got a new version of Amazon. Original Amazon, not Alpha, Omega, Neo stuff from the new Amazon show. No, original Amazon. Along with a bunch of Ultraman stuff from the recent cheat show that I know nothing about. A new scale of figures for Figure Arts. I don't know the exact size, but it apparently has light up eyes and belt stuff. And for the Dino one, it does the transformation thing with the helmet parts. So the eyes actually move down the helmet. Which is kind of neat. I dig that. But I don't know the scale on it. But it's larger than current Figure Arts, which is 6 inches. So it's probably going to, I think it's lower than the RAH stuff, which is 1/6. So probably like 10 inches, maybe 8 inches, somewhere around in there. I don't know. Don't have the best sense of scale off the one picture we see. It next to like anything. We also have a Revolve Game Proplica, essentially, from Black RX. I have to scroll through the pages to find new picture. Think because we also got a renewal wizard, which looks fantastic. And something very surprising X8 related. I'm gonna see if I can put a picture of it real quick. Is it in here? Yes, on page 5, towards the bottom. We got a display of all of the Genom forms. So regular Genom, a crap ton of dangerous zombies, Genom level 3, and God Maximum Mighty X.
Oh God.
Which I don't know yet. Probably won't be released. But here's the thing about the X8 stuff. You know what else got shown off X8 wise there?
What?
Gemdeus with both the Gamer Driver and Bungle Driver. I assume it's just a part swap. Laser level 0 was all shown off, but that's confirmed to get a release right now. No reports of regular Maximum Mighty X or Muteki. Even though, you know, this God Max Mighty X is literally a repaint of the Maximum Mighty X that we've seen before at previous Tamashi shows.
Huh.
But no Hyper Muteki. The fuck? a Hyper Muteki.
Yeah, that is odd.
Also, as I've come to Ghost in Figure Arts, they stopped at Grateful. Yeah, the most we got was like Grateful, Deep Spectre, and Necrom. We didn't even get that many of the other heroic icons. I think we only got like Musashi. I think.
Well, they kind of made it pretty clear that Musashi was the second form for Ghost, though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, nothing else for Spectre, nothing else for Necrom. I'm surprised they didn't do Mugen at all. Yeah, like I know Ghost didn't go over well, but still, I would think we would have gotten Mugen at least to end off the series. But no, they ended at Grateful, which sucks for all those who really love Ghost and would love to pick up Mugen. They're probably never going to get it at this rate. I'm scared we're not going to get Muteki. We also got a renewal Ibuki and Todoroki, the second and tertiary main writers from Ibuki, or not Ibuki, Hibiki. Yeah. And also, not the best picture of Renewal Wizard. Let me see if I can, somewhere down here, have the actual better picture. Because there's something... Okay, the page 7, right at the top. That's Renewal Wizard. That's a brand new wizard, which looks way better than the current wizard right now. And here's the thing about the coattails. It's coattails, not skirts, people. Wizard does not have a skirt. Those are coattails because the design of Wizard is supposed to reflect a stage magician, and his costume is supposed to be a coat. Just saying, it's not a skirt. That slightly bugs me when people call it a skirt. But it's cloth, actually. But yeah, the coattails are cloth. I know there's a picture comparing it to the actual shot, and it looks a bit off. I think it's because the head's too small. Or like slightly too small. It could be a little bigger, and I think this would be perfect. Because I think you either upscale the head or you downscale the chest a little bit, and it should look perfect. And just below it, you can see the Gemdeus, or not Gemdeus, Kronos with the gamer driver. Why did I call him Gemdeus? It's Kronos. Kronos with the gamer driver. And there's also Kronos with the bubble driver Swai. And there is an image floating around of a letter talking about a renewal Kiva, who's the only main writer we've never gotten figure arts at all. Page 10 towards the middle has a better image of the skirt. Or there I go calling it a skirt. The coattails.
Uh-huh.
Go me. Go me for calling it a skirt. I know it's easier because it's shorter to say. But yeah, there's a better picture on page 10 of the coattail.
Of the skirt.
Like how much... Yep. Of how much it is cloth, which is really good that something like that's cloth. It makes me wonder if the Kronos coattails are cloth, because I believe that Kronos's coattails are the exact same prop. I don't think they are. I think they're hard plastic, or like soft plastic, because they look like soft plastic in the one decent photo we have. Bear in mind, the wizard stuff and the Kronos stuff and the Ibuki Todoroki stuff was a no, don't take photos of this part, even though this close-up of the coattails is from Tamashii Nation's official Twitter. This is literally from their official Twitter account. Bravo.
Don't take pictures. That's our job.
Yeah.
That's literally what that is.
Yeah. The post from Sentai King actually gives the really close-up shot of Wizard, which might help show the little kind of oddball proportions on it a little bit with the chest. The chest looks a bit BV.
Link/page?
Yes.
No, I mean, do you have a link/page number?
It's page 10, post 97.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the chest looks a little boxy, which makes
it
it look off.
That's definitely what it is.
Yeah. If you slim the chest down a little bit, it'd look perfect. Because right now, Wizard looks like he has a bit of a bodybuild physique going on. And that might be done just to get articulation in there without sacrificing the design. Possible.
But if you were going to do that, wouldn't
Assumption.
you just upscale the rest just a little bit too?
Yeah.
To kind of make it match?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think if you just made the head a little bit bigger, it would like make everything look just right, actually. I think. Because I think that was wrong when I looked at the side by side was off. If you upscaled the head just a little bit, it would have looked fine. Because the photo, the the actual suit photo was from an episode in this exact pose. So it was the perfect side by side to have. But yeah, that's pretty much it outside of other various things that have come out from the show. Like Roxas is coming to the Kingdom Hearts. Like they're continuing the Kingdom Hearts toy line for Figure Arts with Roxas in the organization cloak.
Huh.
It's me. They're also doing 2 of the random suits from Iron Man 3. Guess which 2 suits?
Which ones?
Hot Rod, which is War Machine with Iron Man gauntlets and boots. And Midas, which is a gold painted Iron Man.
Huh.
Bear in mind, both of these suits were actually in Iron Man 3. You know how all of the Iron Man suits were really fragile in Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of those were built in like a year.
Yep.
That's why they're all garbage. A shit ton of Star Wars stuff was shown off. A younger Bulma from Dragon Ball Z. Stuff that was in the Token Nation stuff forms was Ultraman. A little bit of stuff from Pacific Rim 2. I think it might have been Pacific Rim 1. But some Jaegers from Pacific Rim. I'm trying to think what else came out of the show that I can think of. Not anything else. The Kingdom Hearts stuff makes me go, God damn it, why? Because we already have release dates for Donald and Goofy, and the Donald and Goofy can pretty much work for any other game in the series because they've never received a costume change outside of their standard, like their like outfits for Disney Castle. Outside of that, they've only ever had the one costume. So you could just release a Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora or a Kingdom Hearts 3D Sora and stick Donald and Goofy next to him and they would look perfectly fine. I would just like for them to do what Play Arts Guy did and release the other Keyblades. So Sora has other Keyblades besides the Kingdom Key. Because that would be nice. That's pretty much it. And I also might as well plug Toku Nation doing their Toku Toy Box giveaway this year. If you comment this year or any of their photographs released this year, you'll be entered into the giveaway. I don't know what they're giving away in each of their boxes. They usually have a box per franchise, so a Rider box, a Sentai box, a miscellaneous Toku box. It will probably be an Ultraman box and then a miscellaneous Toku box. But I'm gonna see if I can get into the Rider one if there's anything good. Yeah, I might as well plug their giveaway for the holiday season because they keep doing it. That's it for me. Tommy, you got a quick draw?
No, I don't really have anything.
Even though I know the answer because there's not one in the notes.
Yeah, I kind of just didn't really have anything.
Yeah.
Like, I've got some projects that I'm wanting to kind of get some groundwork for. It's one of those that they're like super early. I've not really had time to sit down and throw a lot of thought into them. That's probably what I'll do tomorrow. But yeah.
I got to do up a report tonight and then write a paper tomorrow, most likely, because I'll probably be tired after doing up that report tonight. Paperwork. I've been putting off writing more on this paper for a while now because it's on solar panels and grid integration of solar panels. We have to reference like 6 papers essentially, and these are fairly thick papers in terms of their information. It's the worst. Because I found better information like in 12 seconds on Google than I have out of these papers because they are so thick with information and so thick in terms of their level of like readability. Ugh. This is not meant for this kind of paper.
Well then.
Yeah. I will say, for anyone picking up Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it might be a good idea to not do the English voice acting, only because A, it's really spotty, and B, there's bad lip sync for it. Lip sync, not limp sync. Lip sync. Really bad lip sync on it. I have not watched Game Explain's first part post-review discussion of it with Chugga Conroy yet, but I assume that's a big thing they talk about in terms of issues of the game, because that's the only real issue I've seen outside of all of the chatter during combat. Yeah, you know that thing about Japanese products where people say their attack names?
Yeah.
Imagine 3 party members plus the enemies all shouting their attack names in a... Well, you've seen the combat system for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yeah, imagine them shouting their move names a lot. It is a cavalcade of noise, and thank God there's apparently an option to turn that off. Oh God, if I ever play Kingdom Chronicles 2, I'm turning that the fuck off, and I'm turning on the Japanese voice acting so I do not get distracted by the bad lip sync. And the kind of shoddy it's kind of spotty, kind of shoddy voice acting for the British, for the American voice acting, which is really British voice acting because it's all British voice actors, I think, because everyone has some thick-ass British accents. Just like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 has a lot of thick-ass British accents. But otherwise, Chronicles 2 looks good. It seems kind of linear, but that's okay because it seems like there's a lot of exploration, but like it's exploration in kind of a big area before you move to the next big area to explore as you go along the path to do this main story. From the looks of it. I was trying to think if there's anything else I've been watching. Oh, apparently there's a good Bakugan game. Did you see Ty's stream today?
I was going to, but I had to go take care of something, and when I came back, he had done cut, so I didn't get to see it.
It was supposed to be garbage day, so he was going to play a bad Bakugan game on the Wii, I believe. Turns out it's a really good it's a fairly good Z-target arena fighter. Yeah, like Dissidia Gundam versus your Z-target fighters, essentially, is I believe what the name of that genre is. But yeah, it's a fairly decent to good game. Ty was praising this game by the end.
Well then.
Yeah. Yeah, when you can impress Ty, considering how much garbage he plays. Yeah, that's probably a good game.
Well, to be fair, this is the same man. To be fair, this is the same man that speedruns Sonic 06.
Yes.
I mean, granted, I can't blame him because that's the only way to enjoy Sonic 06.
Right. Sonic 06 is still a bad game, but it's like a Bakugan game's good, considering. Bear in mind, he's already played a Bakugan game that was bad and terrible and the worst. And then he comes into this one and it's really good. Like, it almost got him tempted to actually watch the fucking show and be like, is it like this? And I'm just sitting there going, no, it's not. Not after the first, maybe after the first season, I think. Maybe, kind of. I vaguely remember it. But, probably not. It's probably not as good as you hope it is, unfortunately. Oh, by the way, have you seen, it's only been a Raw yet for Bill, but yeah. Should I tell you who Bloodstark is? Because we confirmed it this episode.
I'll wait till I watch the sub.
Okay, well, just as a heads up, you have to wait till the end of the episode. The literal end of the episode, and oh boy, cliffhanger into next week.
So do we actually get to see, or does it cliffhanger?
It can. I want to say with the dialogue at the end of the episode, it confirms who Bloodstark is.
Okay.
But to see the transformation to super confirm it, it's next week.
So 100% confirm is cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
But probably easily 90% confirm should be this episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Especially with what they were doing this episode. Yeah. It's exactly who you think it is. Also, here's the funny thing about Bloodstark. You know how he has that Cobra?
Uh-huh.
Well, we get to see the full model of that Cobra in a fight scene. Yeah, that's Oja's Cobra from Ryuki. They reused the model of Oja's Cobra, Venosnaker from Ryuki. She paused to double check.
Doesn't surprise me, because there's been so many throwbacks with Build.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those that I wasn't really thinking about it, but okay. We had the pirate and train combination, correct?
Yes.
There's even references outside of Rider.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's one of those, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, cheeky there. I see what you're doing there.
Well, this isn't the first time they've done this, because they also did it in X-Aid. You remember the magic virus guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, his spell seals are wizard spell seals. They are literally wizard spell seals. I think they cover up the wizard logo in the middle, but the outer is the exact same.
I find it just so funny that, I mean, all of them have had little nods to other shows, but it feels to me like Build is kind of we want to try to see if we can't redeem ourselves after decade kind of show there. Because it is doing so many references to so many past shows even. And it's one of those that's like, that's interesting.
Oh, and next week gives us Rapid Tank Sparkling. They outright spoiled that in the preview. They don't tell us how Sento gets Rapid Tank Sparkling, but no, it's just like, oh yeah, Sento has Rapid Tank Sparkling, boom, butts it out for fight scene next week. Like one of the two major fight scenes for next week.
So number 2 of the 2 major fight scenes next week, probably at the end of said second fight scene.
Yeah. And I believe both fight scenes are against Bloodstark. I know the first one definitively is. I want to say the second one is as well. Terrible. The marathon through the YouTube links of me. I know I'm doing a terrible thing, but I haven't had the time to marathon through all the episodes. I've only had the time to watch them once and then move on. But yes, Ruby is being really good.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good.
And I swear this week's episode is just really still kind of setting everything up.
Yeah. Next week's gonna be one big old just stomp on the heart.
Yeah.
Although I forgot when we're supposed to have a break, because we do have a break coming up, but it's a single week break. I think it's like the 23rd. I think it's either the 23rd or the 30th. Right. It's one of those 2 weeks we're getting a break, which I think is when we get a World of Remnant. But then we're moving on from there, which is surprising because we have had no break yet. And that's super surprising because usually by now we would have had at least 1 or 2 breaks. Like, am I not wrong? Yeah. Because I'm like, we should have had a couple of breaks by now. No, but no, we've been getting weekly episodes for, like, since it started.
That's
it's like,
odd.
It's better than Brains, which and I want to say, I was about to say, how many episodes is Brains right now? Because they've had like 3 fucking recap episodes already. Yeah, 29 episodes, 3 recap clip shows. 3 in 29 episodes.
So I'm guessing the show's not doing too good.
I haven't watched. Mostly because I don't want to get invested in another Yu-Gi-Oh show and be burned by the end. Super hard. And 3 recap shows in 29 episodes? Yeah, no. That does not give me confidence in your writing. Also, I watched the first 2 episodes, I think, and I wasn't super interested. So yeah, I'll stick to imagining a better Arc 5 if I want a Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it this week. In 2 weeks, we'll be back with more video game news talk. Hopefully that I don't know. I don't think anything's really planned, big news wise, for the next couple of weeks. Besides like Game Awards announcements, and oh boy, I can't wait to be like, well, Persona 5 didn't win anything. Persona 5.
I think it's got potential.
If it doesn't win an award, there's at least 1 award. I'd hope soundtrack at least, but I feel like Persona 5 deserves more than soundtrack. Because like as good as that soundtrack is, that's not what like Persona 5 should be most known for. Because art style wise, Persona 5 hit it out of the park. Jesus. Yeah, that's the only one thing I think. And Rampant Gaming, me hopefully finishing RE4 on the Thursdays, or not Thursdays, Tuesdays. Me hopefully doing a Thursday stream. I should be able to because Thursday is my study day this next week. Because all I have to study is for a comedy final, and I don't really have to study for that one. Comedy's easy. It's everything else that's hard. But yeah, I think I should be able to pick back up Thursday. I'll do Yoshi's Island like I was do this, but I didn't get a chance to. So Jurassic babysitting, ahoy! Tommy, you got anything between now and then?
Not definitive, but I am gonna try to get back into streaming. I kind of have just kind of not been feeling it, so I don't want to push myself to do it kind of deal.
Yeah.
But hopefully I should get back to all of that. I might actually decide to go ahead and plug my 360 back up and see what I've got on that. I don't know, I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel like I might want to play something that I've got on it.
Mm-hmm. I know when I move back in, I'm probably gonna do Halo 3, like not long after it.
I
might do.
wish we both had gold,
Yeah.
because I would so totally be down for doing a co-op run.
Mm-hmm.
Although, what we could do, since we don't, is we could turn it into like a race.
Yeah. I'm just gonna just wonder when I sit down to play Halo 3. It's like, how much am I gonna remember, and how much am I gonna be surprised that I actually remember, or just be surprised by?
Yes.
It's like, out of all of the Halo campaigns, and I played 3 way too goddamn much. Like, I've played it enough that if I learned it, I could probably do it blindfolded.
The thing with me is I'm actually not the most familiar with 3, even though I have played it quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Combat Evolved actually is the one for me that's like that.
Mm-hmm.
I literally, if I really wanted to, but I probably wouldn't because I like the game so much, I could
Mm-hmm.
probably speedrun that game, like, very easily.
Yeah, I could probably do 3's campaign.
The only thing is I like the too much to actually go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've tossed the idea around before, and then I'm like, if I did that and I started trying to grind it, would I burn myself out on the game? Like, that's the big question for me. Because I actually have done that with Mario Kart 8. That's kind of why I delay on doing any kind of runs with it, because I have gotten myself to the point of burnout on that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, I know that's a thing. I really don't want to do that on this game.
Mm-hmm. Just in case anyone's wondering, if you've checked recently, I said this on Twitter already today because I found it out today, but a couple of the Kingdom Hearts marathon videos are blocked worldwide because stupid end credit songs. I can't fix those until I move back in because I don't have the hard copies of those streams on me. I'll have to edit them and then hopefully upload them in a reasonable time. It's probably going to take like half a day for them to upload, unfortunately. But the end of Chain of Memories and the end of 3D and 0.2, which means you get the you're missing out on me being very pissed about fucking young Xehanort who needs to die in a fucking fire, and I hope I get to whip his fucking ass in 3. I want that. I want the opportunity to in town and a Kingdom Hearts 2 style combat system. Like the Revenge Value system. I want to be able to just fucking juggle his ass for fucking days after that god awful boss fight. Fuck his ass. Fuck that asshole. Fuck him. But yeah, but fix those. The end of Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep is still editing. Hopefully it gets the video, the audio removed. The other ones I did that for actually worked because it's been less videos now. It was like 6 of them before, but now it's down to 3. So yeah, hopefully that will all be fixed. Ugh. I don't know when the fuck they decided to do that, because it was only so recently, I guess, that's happened. And it's just the end credits song, which is the most obnoxious thing in the world. It's just one song in the whole goddamn video, 6+ hour video that makes it blocked worldwide. It's like, what the fuck? This is why I don't want to be on YouTube anymore. This is why I want to upload our entire video archive to fucking Twitch and just be like, we're just Twitch all day, every day. If you want to watch an archive, it's on Twitch. Even though I believe Twitch has removed the video tab on your homepage right now.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, you can't look at all the videos from all the people. It's gone. I think it's only on the beta site right now.
The beta site I don't think actually exists. That is the one word that has been implemented so far.
Oh. Well, it's not there. It's there for like a hot second sometimes, depending on what you have. Because I've seen it there for a hot second, but it disappears as soon afterwards. I don't know what happened. Twitch, bring that back, please. Please, please, since you're trying to like do stuff for video content. Hey, here's the thing. Try to be YouTube. Because, you know, other sites can't compete with YouTube. You can fucking compete with YouTube. You've got fucking Google money. Or wait, no, you have Amazon money. Fucking go compete with YouTube. You got it. You got Amazon money. I'm sure you can beat out Google. But anyway, until then, folks, we'll see you then.